Hi, I'm SpaceKate and welcome to Need to Know Space. Today we're going to be talking about the Ariane 6 rocket, which is due to have its first ever launch just this evening. So what's so special about the Ariane 6? Well, it's Europe's heavy lift launch vehicle, and since the retirement of the Ariane 5 last year, Europe hasn't had its own launch capacity. Now, given that ESA, the European Space Agency, is well established on the global space scene, not having its own launch capacity has been, what shall we say, less than ideal? Ariane 6 development was given the green light back in 2014, and there were plans to launch it for the first time in 2020. Given it's now 2024 and we're only just getting set for launch, you can tell there have been some delays. The Ariane 6 can come in two different configurations. The Ariane 6-2 has two side boosters, whereas the Ariane 6-4, you've guessed it, has got four side boosters. Now, the difference in capability that you get from the change in the number of boosters can be seen by the amount of mass that it can take to a geostationary transfer orbit. For the Ariane 6-2, that's anything up to 4.5 tonnes, metric tonnes in case you're listening in America. And the Ariane 6-4 can take up to 11.5 tonnes to the same geostationary transfer orbit. That's not bad going. The Ariane 6 launches from the European spaceport in French Guiana. This is run by the French space agency CNES. Its position near the equator and with ocean to the east makes it ideal for launching rockets. And why do you want to do that over the ocean rather than populated areas? Well, space is hard and things can and sometimes do go wrong, and the last thing you want is a rocket coming down anywhere where people are living. Take note, China. The Ariane 6 core stage stands at 42 metres high, and if, like me, you're a fan of Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, you'll be hoping that's no accident. That doesn't include the area where the payload sits. There are two different configurations you can have depending on the size of your satellite or spacecraft. Either a 14-metre high fairing or an even larger 20-metre high fairing, both at 5.4 metres wide. So this is a heavy lift rocket that is aiming to get a lot of mass up into space. And the upper stage is reignitable. That means that once it arrives in one orbit, it can drop off a satellite and then continue on its way, almost like a school bus, dropping children at the different schools on its journey. This means it can service even more customers in one single mission. Ariane 6's predecessor, the Ariane 5, was involved in some pretty important missions. It was active from 1996 all the way through to 2023, and I'm sure you'll have heard of some of the things it launched, not least NASA's James Webb Space Telescope and also ESA's mission to land on a comet, Rosetta. In addition to those missions, it also launched 12 of the satellites in the Galileo GPS constellation that is run by the European Union. The press kit of Ariane 6 includes a whole page on sustainability, talking about the ways that Ariane has tried to cut down on the environmental impact of building, transporting and launching its rockets. It says that the rocket has been designed with sustainability in mind, and with that in mind, it might seem then a bit of a shock that no part of this rocket is being reused. When the project was begun, reusable rockets were still kind of a thing that were yet to happen. It's only in the recent years that we've seen SpaceX so successfully return its boosters, land them on autonomous drone ships, even land them back on the ground, reuse and recycle them. A single booster has already been into space 22 different times, and the more you can use things, the better that is for the environment, surely. They're also doing the same with payload fairings, which they're able to recover from the ocean and reuse and repurpose for further missions. It seems a bit of an oversight that Ariane 6 is unable to reuse any of its parts and is not even recovering the boosters, as used to happen with the space shuttle program. As we move towards a more sustainable space sector, I do feel this is a bit of an oversight, but hopefully there is something in future that will be done to ensure that Europe's launches are reusable, recyclable and as sustainable as they can be. But for now, let's just enjoy a glorious launch of the Ariane 6.
3, 2, 1, top. Allumage 2 SR, décollage.
And we have liftoff. Ariane 6 has cleared the tower And off it goes on its mighty adventure. Now, if you're new to rocket launches, the thing you need to know is the word nominal is what we want to hear.
Propulsion nominale.
And there it is.
Trajectoire nominale.
Europe's new rocket,
Pilotage calme, trajectoire nominale.
Ariane 6, has left the pad and is blazing a trail across the equatorial skies. The range operations manager is telling us that everything is going according to plan. Tina.
And I didn't know my heart can pump so fast. Oh my god.
Trajectoire nominale, pilotage calme.
We're rumbling now. And Jupiter too. We hear her.
It's quite a sight.
Oh, she's coming, she's coming. Oh my gosh. This is happening.
It's the most incredible feeling. We're on the edge of tears here in the commentary box because this is a big day and a big moment.
Trajectoire nominale.
Actually, the building's rumbling around us now. And look, these are the live images from the cameras on board.
We're looking at the booster. We're looking down.
We're looking downwards.
One of the two boosters, we can see the flames coming out of that booster because, of course, the
Positionne la
boosters,
télémesure pour la station de Saint-Jean, propulsion nominale.
boosters are doing all the
nominal.
work. He's telling us that everything is going according to plan and everything is nominal.
And look at the visibility. We might even be
C'est
able
nominal,
to see the
trajectoire
separation.
nominale.
We have clear skies tonight, this afternoon. We had rain all day, but the clouds parted. The two dots there, the boosters.
There we see them falling off.
Séparation des ESR.
Confirmed. We have booster separation. So, wow, that's the first clapping here that we see. What a beautiful liftoff.
And our cameras
We
on
see
board.
Propulsion nominale,
perspective.
trajectoire nominale.
These pictures are coming in with a 20 seconds delay, which is why we have them now. Look at this, how they fall off. Wow. Amazing, amazing. So these boosters, they have transported us 60 kilometers high.
And we can see that dot is
Trajectoire
the
nominale.
telling us that the trajectory is normal, everything going according to plan. That's the engine on the main stage that you can see there. And we've got a camera inside now. What are we looking at here, Tina? Oh, we're looking
so
back down at the
this-
Earth.
This was actually a camera inside the interstage, so we will be able to see when the lower stage separates. That's coming up. But now we have actually lost half our mass already, because the boosters have burned almost 300 tons of fuel in 2 minutes
Pilotage
time.
calme, trajectoire nominale.
Everything nominal,
And
as
we're
the range
getting-
operations manager says.
Yes, and we're getting close now to the next thing, which will be the jettisoning of the fairing being the nose cone of the launch vehicle, which is where the passengers are sitting. And we can
Séparation de la coiffe.
Even see the, wow, that's amazing.
We had confirmation there that the fairing has been jettisoned.
Yes, so the fairing that was protecting our spacecraft withstands all the pressure and the heat, and once we stuck out the nose out of the atmosphere, we didn't need her anymore, and it has been jettisoned.
So what we're looking at now is the main stage, which is what we're burning on the right hand of the screen.
Us, and this is the live camera from orbit, and we see the fairing falling off there.
And
Amazing pictures.
When we watch a launch and we get caught up in the excitement and the sound and the rumble and the brightness of it all, it's sometimes easy to forget the number of people that have worked to ensure that that spacecraft is going to make it safely off the planet. And you can really hear in that lady's voice, wow, it's happening. Almost disbelief after all the time spent working on this project. So congratulations to the whole Ariane 6 team. Here we go, a new chapter for Europe in space.